Right now, we are in the midst of some of the most intense shadow work of our lives, digging into karmic patterns that have kept humanity in trauma loops for thousands of years. It may feel heavy, but don't despair. Profound healing is available within this struggle, even if you can't see it yet. We're clearing the slate to build a future rooted in love and harmony, not pain and outdated patterns. If you've been feeling the weight of this, please know you're not alone. This work is not for the faint of heart, but it's paving the way for an entirely new way of being, not just for us, but for generations to come. So hang in there and join me as we crack the code on this Scorpio moon and unravel why it's no ordinary new moon. Because ultimately, this isn't just transformation, it's evolution. So, how's it going out there, everyone? Y'all hanging in there? Spooky week with a timely, shadowy new moon in Scorpio in the early morning hours post Halloween. I don't know about you, but I am hardcore feeling that weird combo of spicy and uncomfortable in the current energies. So let's jump right in and see what this energy is trying to show us.
So the emo itself remains very ramped up, and it doesn't let up anytime soon as we continue to be in Grand Trine water territory with multiple kites. There's also multiple T-squares. Additionally, in the mix is the balancing act and integration of a water-earth mystic rectangle. Add that to underlying Neptune trine as well, and we got a lot of intricate patterns and directions going on here.
Okay, so what does that feel like? Well, for me, I'm finding that most of my uncomfortable emotions are coming to the surface at weird times or with odd, unexpected triggers. As a woman, I tend to blame that kind of stuff on hormones, and well, that is actually a factor here, but the emotions aren't fake or overdramatic just because hormones are at play. They're stemming from layers of repression. Hormones just kind of remove the ability to mask and compartmentalize it. And on that note, I did take a week off of the Astro episodes, and don't worry, I didn't forget my peoples here. I made a little meditation video instead to help move through some of this emo Scorpio season and these last few weeks of Pluto and Capricorn. That video, which I'll put the link in the comments below, is a little bit internal parts work, nervous system regulation, emotional awareness, and quantum manifestation kind of rolled into one meditation. If you resonate with a lot of my messages, you may find it useful. So, if you're into meditation or you're looking to give it a shot with some guidance, definitely check out that video.
So moving into the energies of this moon, we have new moon conjunct sun at 9 Scorpio. This is a really pivotal placement for this new moon at an action-oriented degree. There's a distinct direction here to continue engaging in shadow work. There are emotions that absolutely need to be excavated in order for you to identify with yourself in a new way. A way that's going to be imperative in building the future that we all want from a place of love and compassion and empathy, and not repeating the patterns of old wounds and trauma. This is such purposeful work that we're doing here right now, especially because Scorpio's energy is about letting go of what no longer serves us, especially on emotional and psychological levels. During a new moon, when sun and moon are conjunct, it's sort of like creating a fertile ground for both transformation and planting new intentions related to emotional healing. This is a huge opportunity to shed layers of conditioning or unresolved traumas and allowing for actionable rebirth.
So don't take this moon lightly. While new moons are known for their manifestation capabilities, I think it's important to remember where we are manifesting from, as well as the vision that we actually want to create. I feel within myself this has come up somewhat crudely in the last week or two. Like it's really forcing me to explore the why behind certain things. And because it's Scorpio, it's the real why, not the fake one that society gave me or the one I made up because it's easier than facing the real answers. It's about facing the whys that are really authentic to who I am and what I really want to build in this world and ultimately the person I want to become. In a way, it's like coming out of hiding from our truest desires, from ourselves, within relationships, and with each other. Really, it's invitation for a profound alchemical transformation, making it essential that we go within and face what lies beneath it all to prepare us for a rebirth that aligns us with our soul's evolutionary path. It really is that important.
Aside from it being the depth of Scorpio season, sorry guys, but this is far from a light-hearted, fun new moon. I think this energy feels really serious right now because of the square to Pluto, yes, still at 29 Capricorn. This square is intentionally heightening Plutonian scorpionic themes of transformation, power, and, well, probably some confrontation within yourself and the shadows you've previously not faced. And that's fucking intense. Talk about adding layers of urgency, karmic resolution, and a push for accelerated growth. And all days before a critical US election.
Now, I don't know about you, but this energy definitely gives me go hide under the blankets until Pluto shifts into Aquarius on November 19th kind of vibes. Because, well, this energy wants us to face uncomfortable truths about our relationship with growth and the unknown. Deeply uncomfortable. And Pluto isn't asking, it's demanding it by creating every possible opportunity for us to do this final leg of Capricorn style hard work. This aspect can mean that old, unresolved fears, particularly ones linked to Capricorn themes of security and stability, are being majorly stirred up right now. And if that's not challenging enough on its own, the Scorpio new moon asks for a deep emotional vulnerability, while Pluto is challenging us to stay grounded in our authenticity, no matter what. So let's talk about no matter what for a second, because this is a theme that I've been seeing everywhere, especially so in my own life. So why does it feel like such an intense power struggle within?
So, a key element to our mystic rectangle is Pluto 29 Cap opposed Mars 29 Cancer. Remember, 29 is the testing degree. By nature, it's emotional and impactful to the collective. So, the work we do here is more far reaching than we can see. Just remember, this isn't just your everyday 29-degree opposition. This is happening mere weeks before a generational shift. But why? Well, first, we want our actions and empowerment of Mars, our warrior energy, to be driven by self care and nurturing for ourselves, each other, and humankind as a whole. That is non negotiable. It is the direction of Pluto moving into Aquarius, and much to the chagrin of control systems, it's happening whether or not they participate. And don't get me wrong, they absolutely won't participate. So the next few months and probably years are going to have some wildly unpredictable takedowns. Cue Uranus and Taurus as part of the mystic rectangle. But we'll get to more of that in a bit. This 29 in Cancer highlights emotional vulnerability and the desire to protect oneself. The tension created between assertive action and self-preservation can trigger unresolved anger or defensiveness. So be on the lookout for inner and outer crankiness. Now, we've been talking about this Mars transit for weeks. This focus on warrior energy and the soft sign of Cancer is a key transit that will continue to be a focal point as Mars retrograde moves us into first quarter 2025. This position of Mars will be repeated 2 more times, but never again opposed Pluto and Capricorn, which gives this particular go-round a distinctly Saturnian flavor and undertone of accountability, leadership, and timeliness. So basically, it wants us to listen up.
As much as this can feel like tense friction and force, there's a sweet undertone to it all as well. This aspect challenges us to transform how we use our power, moving from reactive defensiveness to empowered, balanced strength. It's a transition from fighter to protector, which circles us back to our friendly neighborhood why. Why now? Why is it so important? Why is it giving very important transit, or VIT if you will, vibes?
T squared to Chiron 20 degrees Aries enters the chat. As we've been talking about for a while, Chiron in Aries highlights boons around personal empowerment, self-confidence, and identity. It wants us all to heal where we feel insecure or not enough. This T-square encourages direct, courageous self-expression as a vehicle and path to healing, very specifically when it feels uncomfortable. The path is through ourselves and facing our inner blocks and tensions to get there. Sometimes that can almost seem counterintuitive, but the bigger picture is about compassionate empowerment and integration.
Imagine if we all collectively held our individual self-worth to the highest possible degree of who we authentically are, and if we shed away all the conditioning and trauma. Fuck man, we would be so powerful. No control system, government, no religion or doctrine of any type would be able to oppress us, control us, or siphon us for the labor that keeps their pockets full while we crash and burn in permanent survival mode. Collectively, we would just be too strong. But the underlying key to this lesson in strength and empowerment, with North Node and Chiron in Aries, is that at the same time, this energy is teaching us to drive that power from the ideals of Mars in Cancer: softness, emotional wellness, mother energy, compassion, love, and nurturing one another, because that's what we all deserve. Not just the rich, not just when you're sick. Everyone deserves to be loved and valued and to contribute to society in ways that light up our hearts rather than one that destroys our nervous system, which is kind of the idealism of an Aquarian based society that Pluto is about to transform. All of this analysis is really triggering a memory for me of the evolutionary duality between Atlantis and Lemuria.
For those of you not familiar with the mythology, about 10,000 years ago, Earth was said to inhabit a legendary civilization believed to be extraordinarily advanced in technology, science, and consciousness. Atlantis was known for its sophisticated society, intellectual achievements, and deep knowledge of the mystical arts, making it a symbol of both human potential and the mysteries of ancient wisdom. Eventually, Atlanteans became so focused on control, dominance, and material progress that they lost touch with their connection to Earth and their deeper inner values. This led to an imbalance where intellectual and ambition took precedence over compassion and harmony, setting the stage for the civilization's downfall. This eventually led to catastrophic natural events and flooding that ultimately submerged the entire civilization. Do any of these themes sound scarily familiar? I wonder if there was a Grand Trine water going on at the time. In terms of evolutionary astrology, Atlantis symbolizes the journey of the work of Pluto, confronting our shadows and the karmic repercussions of misusing power. The fall of Atlantis is a reminder of the importance of aligning our drive for progress with ethical values, empathy, and a respect for the interconnectedness of life.
The higher vision for humanity, if you will. This story serves as a reminder to heal issues around ego, control, and attachment to material success. It can be seen as a symbol of toxic masculinity, but also as a greater call to integrate both head and heart and to use our talents and abilities to evolve in a way that honors our wisdom and compassion to create a balanced, sustainable future. Now, there's also a feminine aspect to this story, mirrored in the even lesser known ancient mythology of the earth based civilization of Lemuria.
Now, Lemuria is another legendary lost continent, often described in spiritual and esoteric traditions as a highly advanced society. As opposed to Atlantis, Lemuria was characterized by deep spiritual awareness and a strong connection to nature and a collective consciousness that emphasized unity and empathy. Lemuria is often associated with the divine feminine and is said to have nurtured practices that honored the earth and promoted the Venusian qualities of harmony, peace, beauty, and flow. The strength here wasn't entirely intellect, but the deep trust for intuition. They strived to live in harmony with the earth in a more unified and compassionate existence. This energy seemed to have embodied a number of Aquarian and therefore Uranian principles, along with some distinctly Taurus, Virgo, and of course Libra energies. Unfortunately, the physical land body of Lemuria is said to have suffered the same fate as Atlantis. However, depending on which account you read, some say that the Lemurians utilized their deep connection to unity consciousness and ascension and basically collectively decided to leave the physical plane as opposed to perishing in the floods like the Atlanteans. According to various esoteric mythologies and spiritual teaching, it was believed that there was a connection between Lemuria and Atlantis. These two civilizations are often portrayed as existing simultaneously, with Lemuria representing a more spiritually aligned society focused on harmony and collective consciousness, while Atlantis focused on advancing technology and intellectual pursuits. Some narratives suggest there were exchanges of knowledge and spiritual teachings between the two cultures. However, as Atlantis became increasingly focused on power and materialism, the interactions potentially shifted, leading to tensions and contrasting philosophies that ultimately contributed to the downfall of both civilizations. Essentially, the toxic masculine won over the divine feminine. In this context, their relationship serves as a reminder of the need to balance spirituality and intuition with intellect and pursuits of technology and power.
It's classic masculine versus feminine ideals. And if you're following me thus far, you've probably already put together how these lessons on some level mirror the Aries Libra nodal axis and the lessons we're collectively learning while Mars navigates the elongated transit in Cancer, while also dipping into Leo, the sign of individuality. So back to the question of the day, why? Why is this memory popping up for me while we are navigating these particular transits? The short answer might be that although the civilizations were potentially more advanced than we are today, they maybe lacked one key ingredient to moving forward: balanced integration of both polarities. But let's see what the chart has to say.
So, given the water implications of the mythology, I think we'd be amiss not to look at the giant Grand Trine water in the center of this chart. I mean, the civilizations literally were submerged and drowned as a result of their pursuits and imbalance. That's pretty Plutonian in nature. Harsh, but not without evolutionary purpose. And this isn't just the Grand Trine water, it also has a double kite, the first of which points literally to Pluto. And what does Pluto oppose here? Yep, Mars 29 Cancer. So we already dug into that, but let's take a look at the flow of the rest of the trine for further information and instructions. And speaking of information, supporting this trine and kite, we have Mercury at 28 Scorpio. This placement indicates a lot of things. There's a level of information and understanding about the past. There's a deep shadow, perhaps as deep as the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria. It's the third decan, so it's a collective problem and collective karma. I think this placement is telling us to use the information and understanding of our past mistakes, shadows, and imbalances to make different choices for our future.
So, yes, humanity once again finds itself in a bit of a pickle around similar masculine feminine power struggle dynamics. But by remembering the ancient wisdom and cleaning out our own personal shadows, perhaps we can use this information to do things different and evolve in new ways. Because remember, Plutonian Scorpio isn't only about the problem. Yes, it wants to excavate and find the root, but its purpose is to find the light in it. The purpose is healing. It's not to stay trapped in the pattern. The purpose is Phoenix energy and using the knowledge and wisdom of the past to transcend and build a brand new world, honoring balance, peace, harmony, and flow.
And that's directly supported in the Grand Trine kite to Neptune at 27 Pisces. Now, we've been talking about this for a while, but there's additional dynamic in this chart. Neptune's still in retrograde, so this continues to be an inner journey, focusing on the themes of spirituality, intuition, and the role we play in illusions when we hide from our truth.
I'm not lost in delusion. I know I played a part of the illusion.
By the way, that little clip was from 311's new album, Full Bloom. Definitely check it out. So there's subtext here about using the information supplied by the shadow work of Scorpio, both through Mercury as well as the new moon conjunct Sun, and take aligned action with Mars and Cancer around nurturing and protecting ourselves and others. Neptune retrograde in Pisces has frequency of collective unconsciousness, and this retrograde phase can lead to insights about societal issues and a desire to contribute positively to the collective. It invites us all to explore how our personal healing can influence broader societal dynamics.
Which, of course, all supports the kite to Pluto as we move through the US election season. We're literally here making decisions for ourselves around collective societal issues that essentially boil down to masculine versus feminine power struggles on the most visible of stages. It's absolutely wild how timely this all is.
Now, I know this work, especially in Scorpio season, can feel really intense, and sometimes like you've dug yourself into a hole and you can't find the light or the exit. If that feeling is relatable, please let me help you navigate this through your chart. There is specific instruction available to every person on the planet through your chart, and I would be honored to be a channel interpreting those instructions for you. It's part of my own Leo Aquarius nodal axis to be seen through these videos and with the ultimate goal of being of service to the collective. So to help me help you, definitely comment below, subscribe to the channel, like this video, or reach out in any of the other ways listed so we can connect and crack the code on your role in this major evolutionary shift.
Because your unique path is important to the shift of humanity. And we can see this because all of this energy is interconnected. The chart shows us that in many ways. The trine to Pluto is Uranus at 25 Taurus, which serves as both the final corner of this chart's mystic rectangle, but also the point to the second kite of the Grand Trine Water. So, yeah, we need to pay attention because this is really important. Quality of life for all of humanity is really important.
So I don't think there's all that much digging or cracking of codes left to do for Uranus and Taurus at this point. Transformation of quality of life is what's on offer. I don't think this one's about the analysis as much as the direction. The work of the Grand Trine Water, the opposition to Mercury in Scorpio, using the information of the past to support how we move into the future. And part of that simply is dealing with your own inner shit. Because if we're not willing to look at that, we sure as shit won't be able to look at it collectively. That's why it all starts within. And we get to unexpectedly look to Mars right now for compassion driven action. Wow. And it's in a mystic rectangle.
This is about integrating information. We're being asked to release old patterns so that we can create the internal stability that will allow us to handle the unknown and transformation without losing ourselves in our highest vision and frequency. We've been in the process of major shifts and world transformations for years, but it's only going to get faster.
Everything's at a tempo, it's going too fast, it's way too fast.
I mean, unless the stories of Atlantis and Lemuria are future premonitions rather than ancient karmic history. I'm not saying the planet is going to flood and restart us all over again. But we have some serious issues that the universe is here to course correct us on. Our evolutionary path as a planet is to bring humans closer together again. It's unity and harmony. Although it's still in retrograde, Uranus is only 5 degrees away from Gemini. By the second quarter of 2025, we'll have Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, and Neptune in Aries. That's like a lot of major shifting of energies in big outer planets. Remember the Cardinal Grand Cross we talked about a few weeks ago? This is a change of agenda, the ushering in of new policy for how we treat each other, what we want out of life, and for humanity itself. So if you're not already expecting the unexpected, if you're still finding safety in your patterns, I'm sorry to break it to you. But time and energy are not on your side. These transits are happening whether or not you participate, and while I don't recommend fighting off the combined energy of Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, you'll lose. So you might as well get on board and integrate. It's uncomfortable, but we're fully supported in making these shifts, taking these leaps, and exploring the unknown and trusting the process.
And how do I know that? Well, it's right here in the chart. And it caught me by surprise because it's visibly difficult to see it. But embedded in that opposition of Uranus and Mercury is the support of a cradle via the trines and sextiles to Pluto and Neptune. And I think that's pretty beautiful. We have the big guns, powerful Pluto and Neptune, supporting the work we're doing and balancing the opposition between Mercury and Uranus. And that Neptune trine, the one that's been on this chart for like 2 months, is essentially the roof of a house supported by the mystic rectangle. Lots of entanglement here in how we approach this energy, but so much support and instructions too.
So I hope this episode helped you understand the purpose behind this intensity and why it's no ordinary new moon. How the difficult work we are doing in Scorpio right now is supporting us and literally ushering in a new world order. Because underneath it all, the real potential to end our pattern ties to the past and heal and clear out karma that goes back at least 10,000 years in the lineage of humanity itself. That's no small feat. So if you've been feeling the weight of that, please hang in there. Please know that there is huge evolutionary purpose to the work we are doing right now. For ourselves, for each other, for our children and their children, and the future of humanity itself. It may not feel like it right now, but we are truly all in this together, so
Let it flow, 'cause it won't stop.
thank you so much for joining me today and watching this episode and trusting my guidance. As part of my mission to follow my bliss and concurrently be of service to others, I'd love to help you crack the code of your own astrological chart and uncover the hidden guidance within it.
Whether you're interested in live readings, written analysis, or even personalized videos like this one tailored to your specific chart, I'm here to support your journey. Stay connected with me by subscribing here on YouTube and give me a follow on Instagram for regular cosmic insights and content. Plus, check out my website for some fun, customizable Astro merchant gifts to rep your unique astrological code. And remember, let it flow, because it won't stop.